across the board. Connect, 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 connect.
Connect, you son of a bitch.
We're crunching a little bit tonight.
I wonder what is up with that.
It looks like we're going. Unable. Yeah. It's unable. Oh, goddamn. You know what? And go Facebook. Come on, Facebook.
Go Facebook. Go Facebook. It's your birthday.
This can take a few seconds. Looks like we're up on all the platforms except Facebook. We're going to go live. And there we go. We are up. So you ready to do this, man?
You've just gone live.
All right, here we go.
We've just now done it. The time is now. The future is here. You've gone live with Very Dad Ideas, the live streaming show with two dads, a voice actor, and an animator who put the kids to bed and get permission from their wives to dick around on their semi-expensive computers. I mean, they put a little bit of money. They can't edit stuff or anything. They have been known to say things like Rambly Bam Cramble Bottom, Chicanene sauce with cheese. I am Adam. Fabulous secret powers revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power. And you have the power because you're here with Very Dad Ideas. I'm Daron Jennings, and over there is a different guy.
Is Nye, who's trying to fix your audio so you're not so tinny. But welcome to Very Dad Ideas.
Crap. I hate it when I'm tinny. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. Welcome to the program.
Darren, I pitched this to you. I thought we should have a new tagline for our show, which should be the creative hangout for overworked dads.
Yeah, I really like that. It has sort of a hangout vibe to it. You know, it's not too punchy. It's not trying to kick your ass out of the gate. It's like just come and just sort of be creative.
Yeah.
It's, you know.
I'm just going to do
mildly creative.
I'm just going to do a quick check on the networks here to see.
On the network, to see. We want to make sure all of the people can get it.
Well, I'm just going to guess.
A lot of people who want to see.
I'm just going to guess that we're good because I don't see our chat up. Chat. Yes. Okay. Well, I think our chat is up, so we'll have to make sure that we're going. So tonight is episode 12, what is Weekend Parenting Solo.
That is right.
We'll be talking about what it's like to be a parent with two kids at home for the weekend, talking solo. So if you guys have
you're doing it all by yourself. If there's anything you guys want to ask, we're going to be talking about that. But before we do that, Darren, we thought that we would go into a little dadvice. So. Let's go ahead and do this and flip the switch. Let's have a little dadvice.
And then let's go to you. Here we go.
We're probably shot in Long Beach.
All right, you got to give us the or it's a low energy intro for you tonight, I guess, huh?
Dadvice. These are questions you don't want answers to. Dadvice. You didn't ask for it, but we're going to get in your face and tell you about it anyway. Dadvice. Now you have a dadvice tonight, do you not?
I do have a dadvice, as I'm still fixing us. Boy, I am so not ready tonight. Anyways, tonight I thought I would talk about routine.
We're as ready tonight as we are for any Tuesday night. We're mildly ready.
That's right.
Who has time?
So I thought I would talk about routines and the importance of putting routines into your life with your kids.
I already like this.
So there's things that you do with your kids on a regular basis, and every once in a while you make them smile. And I've been discovering that if you notice those things and use it for an inside joke, it's a callback that keeps coming back. And just like any relationship, these inside jokes, like you and I have, meh and whatever. I find this is a real building thing between me and my oldest Griff. Now, I'm sure you don't want to get locked and just be doing inside jokes constantly, but I'm feeling that it's really building like a relationship between me and my kid that gives me a lot more authority on certain things. Now, of course, you talked before about being too friendly with them that didn't give you the authority. But I think the other side of that is you do kind of want to have that moments that you keep coming back to, those inside things that you keep doing that allow you to have those moments with your kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's that's sort of it, right? It's like the Batman's utility belt of parenting. You want to have a little bit of something for any such occasion. The thing I was talking about is just like, in general though, like you also can step in and just be parental. But yeah, I definitely I go with that. I do what you're talking about. Like rapport is everything. I mean, otherwise your kid is like not having any fun. It's not like a military camp, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I this is more like an example that I have off the top of my head is that in the shower the bathtub that we put Griff in, there's these sliding doors and they're kind of loose. And they start to close, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a ghost!" And he thinks it's hilarious, right? So it's kind of become our routine that we do. That the ghost.
He can do it for you, right? He'll do the ghost for you.
Well, no, he keeps saying one more ghost or whatever. But I think
that's awesome.
I think these are little moments that I'm savoring, and I'm trying to like pepper in on regular basis with my kid, and I just find it's a very interesting way, like as a dad, to be building these little moments. So
absolutely.
I mean, you do it all the time, right? You're constantly.
Well, I feel like you are sort of like as the older they get, I feel like you just do that more and more, and you like you said. I mean, it's just like the whole thing about not being too much of their friend is sort of like, when you get to the end of all of the things, like the carrots that you've used to like get them to where you need them to be, you know, at any given moment,
right?
Just don't be afraid to step in and do that one. I don't, but like with this, like, this is how you kind of get through most of your day. You get through most of your day because hopefully you're raising a kid that you enjoy being around, right? I mean, like otherwise it's really not that much fun. You know, like I'm sort of in your camp too, where you're just like, you want to like build in jokes and you want to build in things to call back to, because like that gets them involved, and then they're going to be looking for things like that.
Yeah.
That just sort of sweetens the relationship, and you spend all of your time with them anyway. So any time that you get to have, right, is just with your kids, right? So it's you're like it may as well be like as enjoyable as it can be, and one of the ways you do that is like just throw in
little inside moments. Yeah.
Get them to game with you. Yeah.
So that's our dad advice for this week. So let's move on to our main segment, which is
dude, I want to do my tales. I want to do my tales from the dad.
Oh, okay. Let's do tales from the dad side.
It's a very brief one. I'm not gonna like hog the mic.
All right. Well, we'll come back. There you go. Tales from the dad side.
Oh God, I love that. You want this? My wife and I are buying a Prius V. We're not buying just a Prius. We're buying a Prius V.
So I said this to you already, Daron, and my response is that you are the Bay Area, and the Bay Area is you.
Yeah, I am fully. I fully got my NorCal card in the mail like this morning. It showed up, and it was, it came with an NPR tote bag, and it came with.
Did it have a Bernie Sanders sticker already on the back?
Bernie Sanders, not him because he's very popular, but one of his representatives came and delivered the tote bag, along with some lovely chamomile tea and just like some bath bombs just to throw.
So what is this car? I mean, you're about to.
We're gonna close. We're gonna close on what I like to call Captain Phasma in Friday on a few days. It's silver and black inside, and like so I'm rolling in Captain Phasma.
So Captain Phasma. Of course you're going to name your car a secondary.
I think that's going to be a sub-name. It's going to be a sub-name. Like there's going to be a broader name that I'm not going to have any control over. But that's my nickname for the car.
All right, so thanks for derailing us for your
no problem.
Bay Area.
I told you I would not. I had to What was that? It was a Prius V.
All right, so now we're gonna get onto our main segment where we're actually which is weekend parenting solo, and I really wanted to put the Han Solo logo in here, but I mean I have parents and kids and commutes and
I'm
jobs.
googling the pictures, and all I get is Alden guy. I don't get. There's Han Solo's gone from Google Images now. It's the new guy.
Oh really?
No,
so
I'm kidding.
There's no more hair. It's of course. It's
no. That's a ridiculous lie.
Well, we certainly can dovetail into the Han Solo movie and talk about our complete.
When is that coming out? Is that coming out in like a week?
I don't know.
All of these really big movies are coming out like very soon.
Yeah, within this summer. Yeah.
Yeah. But Solo, I'm like confused. I'm confused by that.
Why
he skids out in a hovercraft car, like that was.
Yeah, well, we can go into that in a second, but so this we're going to talk about weekend parenting solo when the two of us are alone with our two kids.
It happens. It's going to happen to anybody. It will. If you have children, you're going to find yourself at some point.
And so don't panic. Don't panic because I know it seems awful and you're like, I'm never going to get through this day. We've decided to gather a bunch of parenting tips that we have used to survive through our wisdom and our
travails of a weekend. I mean, that's rule number 1 from Douglas Adams is don't panic.
That's right.
And that applies here too.
So Daron, how do you juggle 2 kids when your wife is working? I mean, you're actually doing this not just weekends. You're doing this like a lot, right? I mean, she travels some for work, and so I do find myself with the kids by myself, and just very recently, up until when I had kids, people wouldn't leave their pets with me. I wasn't allowed around animals. This is a relatively new thing, being in charge of living, breathing human. Right.
But it's a brand new world now, and what's happened since has been interesting because you really have to wear a lot of hats. Like you have to wear a lot of hats as a parent anyway. But when you're all by yourself, and just really quick, anybody who's doing single parenting all by themselves, good for you, good job.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're amazing people, right? For sure.
Yeah,
we salute you. So
because at the end of 2 days, I am wrecked. Like you just need to sort of put me someplace in a nice, cool, dark area. Put a little cold compress on my head.
Right. And maybe some Dota as well. So Daron,
maybe some Dota and some Sade.
So let me ask you this first question: how do you juggle the 2 kids around bedtime? When you've got 2 kids, you got to put down at the same time, and one of them is rambunctious and whatever, and you need to be quiet and put the other one in. So what is your approach on that?
Well, and so to define terms again for anybody who's listening, I have a 9-month-old and I have a 5-year-old. This isn't gonna work like this when I'm flying solo a couple of years from now when they're older. This is just the rules for right now.
Yeah, well, my rules are slightly different too because I have.
Yeah, your rules are different. You have different age kids.
About 2.5 or almost 3, and then like a baby, 6-7 months. So these are going to be slightly different, but go ahead. So what do you do around bedtime?
So then? So 6 weeks into Sam's life, Allie left for the weekend, and it was we had talked about it. We knew it was going to happen. We had packed all the breast milk that she had ever made on the side that the kid wasn't eating, and we had it all frozen. And the biggest thing that helped me through it was to just set things up ahead of time.
Yeah.
Anytime one of them would be away for a second, like if Luke was, if I could get him to do an activity for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or to do watch a show or whatever for 20 minutes, or if Sam was napping, whenever it was just me and one of the kids, because very rarely you're not really ever alone. So
what about the bottle?
Get your stuff together. Is just plant yourself up for success. Like with the bottle, we don't have a microwave, so I would always pull stuff out of the freezer 6 hours before I needed it, or
let it
just
thaw.
keep stuff in the. Keep
Right.
stuff in the freezer, keep stuff in the fridge,
Right.
keep stuff out, you know, just like so that way, you know, you could heat stuff up faster.
So did you break the day? So this is what I find is that I break the day up based on, okay, so it's you know, they get up and then there's this period of time before one goes to a nap and then the other one has a nap and whatever, and you have these like segments where you have to kind of plan and you
Natural breaks because you
Right.
got lunch, right? You got lunch, you got dinner. You're
Right.
gonna want to try to get some sort of activity going with one of the kids, you know, just to get them like tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
it's-
leave the house?
I didn't leave the house that weekend, but I've left the house, but only really to go to like the park or because I absolutely had to go to the store. But I'm not even really sure I ever had to go to the store because a lot of being able to do a weekend with yourself requires planning in advance if you can do it. Like
Yeah.
this is another good point. If you know you're going to be weekend alone, go to the store and buy 5 frozen pizzas. You know, like make sure you have your inventory where you need it to be. You know,
Right.
so that I mean, unless you're just going to spend hundreds of dollars on takeout.
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, and if there's anything that you can cook ahead of time, like I don't know, I'm a big fan of cooking stuff off, like you know, like a big bunch of broccoli or you know.
Well, you said
Wh-
crock
whatever.
pot, right? Are you a crock
Dude,
pot guy?
crock pot will save your life too, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
crock pot meal, some sort of like slow chicken, like chicken, you know, kids and chicken, right?
Yeah.
Or it's kids and pork. You know, you can get them to eat one or the other.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And again, yeah, these are kids who eat meat. This is for the vegans. Or
Yeah.
I have no idea how you would do that.
So I actually had this. This is sort of an interesting like sideline. Is that I had this idea that when nap time happened, I could go back to the ultimate productivity that I usually expect that I have. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I want to make a cartoon or I want to
Well, because you have 2 kids that nap, right? Both of your kids nap.
yeah, and they napped around the same time. But I went through this incredible frustration where I could never get it to work. In fact, I was almost like, why aren't you asleep and whatever. And then I would like run to the computer, work for a little while, and then they would wake up and I'd be like, oh, fuck. And I got to go and get them.
Right.
And so I realized that I just had to like let that go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
and-
yeah.
And if you just get to a point where you're like, okay, well, if I do get some stuff done, that's great. This is fantastic. You feel really good about it. But generally, it's like that's not going to happen. You have to be okay with the fact that they're going to be getting up, and you just kind of have
Right.
to constantly be on, right?
And it's sort of the backstop of the rest of your life in a way. It's like when you look at that weekend, you're like, every time that I'm getting into a creative groove or whatever, you know, like the thing that I'm trying to do, like for you, you're like, you can probably sometimes you probably can't take work home with you, given the nature of your work. You have to work at their office on proprietary computers.
I don't want to take work home
Right,
with
right,
me.
more to the point,
But
you
there's
don't
plenty of other
want-
stuff that I want to be working on, like this show or
Right.
whatever, right? So
Right. The other creative endeavors, yeah, and yeah, I think your point is very well taken. Is that you have to be able to just sort of like up,
yeah.
because otherwise it's just going to grind you. You know, you have to stay lubricated as a parent. You know,
Yeah.
not necessarily just with booze or with weed or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
be able to shrug it off. It's like you'll be able to get back to it, or you won't that day, and
Yeah.
you just have to be all right with that.
Yeah, let me ask you. That was interesting. So, like drinking, right? Like when you're, I mean, so how do you? I mean,
Yeah. Well, when you're doing the single day, yeah, I think you have to make. I think anyone who does like drinks, like you have to like make an informed decision, not based on your like liver.
Yeah.
Just be like, look, it's just me this weekend.
Yeah.
How many of these can I have where if I had to get up in the middle of the night and save everybody's lives from a burning whatever,
Or jump in the car and drive to the
jump
hospital.
in the car
or-
because
yeah.
somebody broke their foot off or however it happens, you know? Yeah.
Responsibility rears its head.
Yeah. And it's really not going to leave you alone when it's just you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's,
Yeah.
yeah. So I always gauge that. And I try to, if I'm going to have a couple beers, just have them early, you know, because
Yeah.
be, you know, as close as you can to be sober by the time you get to bed.
Yeah.
You know.
I got one last curveball I'm going to throw to you before we take a break.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
So I've had tons of single friends say, "Oh, you're with the kids this weekend. Why don't you like come and just hang out and whatever?" And it's like the ability to get out of the house is sometimes just so impossible that you
Yeah.
can't possibly explain this to, you know, the non-having kid friends.
Oh,
So, like,
yeah, let's take a shot at the non-having kid, because honestly, this is what they say to you. They look at you and they go, you know, we've got a bed. You you put your kid down, they can go to sleep in our bed, man. I mean, just come on over, What? We've got food, man. We can make food. And you're just like, you're just sitting there, and you're just like,
It's so
if
true.
I explain this to you,
have a bad routine.
You won't be my friend anymore, because you won't want to. If I have to explain to you this, like the things that I need to do for my kid to eat, there's no way you'll want to talk anymore.
Right.
So
right.
you wind up saying, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, maybe we'll do that," and then you sort of hide from the phone on that day.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was our weekend parenting solo segment. Well, that's great. We got to keep coming back to that one, man.
I think the thing is that I think you probably get better at it, but I think it always changes, right? It always changes because your kids get older and older.
Keep changing, and the thing that worked 2 weeks ago does not work this week, and so forth.
When Luke turned 5, he said, my brain's getting bigger. He said, I feel my brain's getting bigger. And I was like, holy, and they just like, no one prompted him to say that. He said that, and he was right.
Right.
Like he wants to do more things. So like in 2 more years, maybe I have to like hire a babysitter and just stay in my sound booth and just hide. I don't know what it's gonna bring.
Well, let's take a couple of minute break, and we're gonna do a live draw when we get back.
We're coming back with a live draw, guys.
If you're on
Jen Kess Remington.
If you're on any of the networks, feel free to contribute by joining and chatting on Periscope or Twitch or Facebook, which we hate. We didn't talk about the Mark Zuckerberg shit. Well, there's more to talk about.
No, we didn't. We'll talk all about him.
When we get back.
Disturbance in the Force, though.
I'm sorry. Okay, so let's bring our friend up here. I think it's good. Vader. I think it's good that we have Tubby Vader. Hey, so we'll take a 2-minute break, and then we'll.
I'll do my Snoke impersonation.
And many more exciting things to come. So we'll be right back.
So my audience will be scored.
Welcome back. That was Jen Kess Remington. That was actually one of her newer tracks.
Cigarettes in back alleys.
Yeah, that was the one that she gave us. I think that one's great. It's like, it was funny. I gave her like 3 different tracks, and she did some great stuff with it. So let's go into our live draw here, and hopefully that will show up okay. Yeah, looks like we're there. Okay, all right. So what do we start doing?
I think being informed from talking about solo parenting and my lame attempts at comedy on the upcoming Solo movie, I think we need to do some sort of.
You're buying a Prius, so maybe we do like
Oh yeah.
Maybe we do like Han Solo in a Prius or something like that.
Han Solo in a Prius, or just standing outside of a Prius, like trying to get his children into the Prius. And then just sort of flying all around.
Get off my Prius.
Yeah. Get off my plane and into my Prius. Yeah. And then also, for no reason, what's the guy from Blade Runner 2049 could show up too, and he could like bust through a wall.
I still haven't seen that yet, man. So
you know, it's like seeing Alien Covenant. There's no reason to see it, but it was, I don't know, it was on HBO. It was sort of entertaining.
Oh, really? It's on HBO already, huh?
No, that one's not on HBO yet. Alien Covenant is. Sorry, that's basically a jump for Alien Covenant. I don't even know why. Yep, that's a perfect rendition of a Prius, and I even like the color.
They're like
Check.
They're like smooshy, right? They're kind of like, and then
They are.
So does yours have a spoiler? As if like.
Yeah, man, that motherfucker. But it's not. It's not like that. It's like it's a hatchback. It's a big. But that's actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there like crap on the back of it?
It sits up on top. But no, that could be for Han Solo's though.
Yeah, for Han Solo.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's Han Solo, right? It's like the Millennium.
Well, I was gonna say you should put like
Prius.
There you go. Yeah, I like that. And then it should also not have tires. It should have thrusters, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's put.
This is already the best drawing we've ever done on Very Dad Ideas. This is. And are you going Harrison, the guy who played him for a couple of the movies, or are you going with this new guy?
This new guy is not.
Arlen.
Is not. The Very Dad Ideas does not recognize the new Han Solo.
We at Very Dad Ideas will not recognize. So.
Right. But this is like a young Han Solo.
I like that. He seems plucky. Dash. It seems like it's Friday. It's definitely not the Sunday of the weekend. You know, he hasn't been just wrecked by the children all.
You know, the one that's like, he's like, listen, sweetheart, this is my Prius, right?
Right. The fastest Prius in the galaxy.
Yeah.
You go. How many parsecs do you want to put in my tank?
You've never heard of the Millennium Prius.
You've never heard of the Phasma Force 5?
I love that you did. So just for our viewing audience, no one knows who Phasma really is. Oh, I can't launch. This is the problem, is that my oh god, see my browser got stuck down at the bottom here.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I can't pull it up. Well, maybe.
Oh no.
We'll have to
oh well, whatever. What couldn't you pull up?
I'll try to fix it during the next break. But
nice.
Yeah, I was gonna try to pull up Phasma so everyone knows. It's basically the Silver Stormtrooper from the new movie, right? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, can we paint that? Can we put a little silver on some of that Prius?
Sure, we could try to make it.
Or would the color just like destroy the?
No. I mean, I think we
I don't want to mess up the finish on it because it's very dear to me.
I mean, we could probably do like a little gray thing in here or whatever, you know. I mean,
all right. So maybe like I think that's sort of why you don't want to go out on when you're doing a weekend solo is that like you don't want to leave your house. So if you are in a position where you are putting both the kids into the car, you've already lost, right?
How's
so
that?
I feel like in this particular case, just because it's Han Solo, I mean, trying to get, Kylo Ren, and maybe they had another kid? I didn't read the books, but
wait, is it based off? It's not based off of books. I love it. I love it. It's just like Star Wars is this gravitational pull that like you and I just start talking and
it just infiltrates any other conversation, and eventually that other conversation doesn't exist, and it's just about Star Wars.
So here's my attention to like make it shiny by.
Oh yeah. By putting shiny glints on it. Yeah, man.
Shiny glints on it, right?
That's how you know it's quality.
Right. And maybe it like hovers or something, right?
Some hover blasts. There you go.
Yeah. Right.
That is awesome.
So let me check our rooms. Well, we
anybody in our rooms?
We've got.
Are they just cursing us madly? What are they doing?
A couple people here and there. I mean, and the truth is actually that most people watch us in. And I made a note for myself to say this. So we are also in a podcast form at this particular point.
That's right.
So the only thing that's a drawback on the podcast is when we talk about what we're drawing, you have no idea. Like, so for the future people who potentially are listening to the podcast, this is episode 12. All the live draws are on the website, so you can go and you can look at the live draw, and then you can enjoy our podcast while you're like working out or whatever the hell you're doing, listening to us. God knows why.
The Prius Falcon. Yeah, why you would be listening to this is your own fault, really, at this point. Because you're a few minutes in now. You didn't just like listen to this for a couple of minutes. You're in for It's a good half hour.
So
But
Daron,
this is the drawing of the Prius Falcon. It's the fastest Prius V in the galaxy.
so is this
That's
like?
important to point
So
out.
does Han Solo then? I don't know. He's like in San Francisco or something, or where does he? Where does this Prius exist?
Does Han Solo have to live in San Francisco too? Oh my God.
Well, is that?
Isn't he from? He's from Coruscant, isn't he? I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, of course he's in. So this isn't Han Solo. This is me. This is me in my
in a Han Solo outfit?
yeah. Good. At least finally.
The gig is up. The gig is up. It's actually
It's actually me. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Well, I did shave. I had to shave, so it's good.
I know. Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
like
good.
so I grow more and you pull back and then you
I know.
grow more and
You
then
like
pull
sort of
back.
like popped your beard out, and then I sort of
Didn't we do that
withdrew.
with our hats too? Like I wasn't wearing
We
a
did.
hat and then one week I did wear it and you did too. So there's some
And
sort
you
of
think we talked about it, yeah.
it's like the cosmic the universe has to cosmically balance
Mm-hmm.
itself. So
The light reaches the dark, and the dark reaches the light. Yeah.
Alright. So let's see
Yeah.
how are we doing here. Yeah, okay. So what do we want to do for the last little bit here? Like where do you
Well,
want
I
to
mean, I think I would be flying into the Game Developers Conference. Is there anything we could
Oh,
throw?
yes, of course, the Games Developers Conference. So let's add a game. This is my take.
Can you
on it.
make the spoilers some other color just for me? Just like maybe like fire hot red or some kind of sort of
like Iron Man or something?
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yes. So my
That's what I'm talking about.
game. I'll put a little some highlights along it, right?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Looking good.
So the Game Developers Conference, there are two types of people who are at the Game Developers Conference.
All right, so just real quick, the Game Developers Conference happens like every year, and it has for the last 10?
Every
Or what?
year. I mean, it was insane. It was like 5-6 buildings in San Francisco. It was like and I don't know if you've been over to that Moscone Center area recently. They're like it's all under construction. They're just building things like crazy all over the place. So
Yeah, well, they've wrecked all the streets all around it. Yeah.
So I'll show you the type of person that's there. So it's usually a guy who is like actually he's like mean, and he has like a long beard, right? He's got a shape
Like a long beard, right?
like a long beard, like a lumberjacky long beard, right? And he's usually got a hoodie on, and it's either or a leather jacket, and he's either wearing the Unreal Engine logo on it,
Oh my God.
or it's the Unity Engine logo. So you can choose which engine you want, and you have to choose which school of thought. You're either in Unreal or in Unity, because those are the two big game engines of it. But the fact that you're wearing a sweatshirt or a leather jacket with that logo, and you're just like the other 100,000 people who are wearing that logo, that shows that you're actually a game developer, and then that you're that cool. Like
Well, I think it's interesting, right? So I mean, it's what is that? When you wear the badge and you have the beard, does that make you? Is that 10th level, 12th level? What level? I mean,
oh
like,
yeah,
where in the
you're probably really super badass, right? You're like
AD&D second edition, you would be 18th level. That would be
Yeah.
that would be the maximum you could be.
so.
So okay, so this dude, right?
This-
He's bald. He's got a massive beard. He does
Yep.
not play in ZZ Top. He is a
No, yeah, and he's an Unreal Engine developer, which means that
different than a code.
Sure, he does code, but he also probably like 3D models and does different
Right.
things, and then also he's going to talk about like that he has the new developer kit, the newest Vive developer kit. So I'm going to put the virtual reality glasses. And if you talk to him for a good 5 or 10 minutes, he will tell you that virtual reality is, we're all going to be able to swap avatars and live in a virtual world, and it's going to be amazing. So
swap avatars, like because each one of us is like an avatar. That's who you would be in the virtual world. It would be your avatar, the person who's like sort of you occupying the sort of virtual space, not you.
So
you.
this guy's an Unreal Engine guy, I guess, on his badge. So he's saying that Unity sucks.
Right, and then the Unity guys, right?
Well, so the thing is, like, Unreal is kind of like hardcore. It's like the big hardcore engine, and the Unity guys are like, but we're indie, right? So it's like hardcore versus indie is kind of like
fluffy.
Yeah.
So it's like shitty graphics, but you can have more unicorns, or you can have more like first-person shooter, like shoot your face.
Right, and massive multiplayer and network stuff. I can't wait for Amazon to come in with Lumberyard. I wonder what they're going to do with their purple jackets. So, Daron,
is that their developer system? Is Lumberyard?
Yeah, it's called Lumberyard. It's still in development.
That's adorable. Okay.
So we're gonna sign this VDI 2018. This is our silver Prius. What is the Stormtrooper's name again?
The Phasma. It's the Phasmobile.
Right. So let's go back into our big 2-up. Okay, so that was our live draw.
I think I found my true nickname is the Phasmobile.
The Phasmobile. There you go. Well,
that's what it is.
When that gets purchased. All right, we're gonna take another quick break, and then we'll be back. We've got some recommendations.
Oh, we do, man. We have some recommendations. So come back. Let's do some Jen Remington on HeyDog.com. That's 2 G's at the end of that.
2 G's.
And come back and see us in a second.
All right.
We are back, America.
Okay, so this is our last segment for tonight's show. Sorry if you're having internet issues. Sorry. So, Daron, before we get into our last bit of let's do some business, right? Because
let's do some business.
I mean, this is what we got to do.
What we're about.
Yeah. So the show was built using a combination of Adobe products, OBS Studio. We get to the networks using Restream.io. Our audio is Voice Meter Banana. And we are using Discord, which we will eventually...
Easily the most entertaining little texts on Discord.
Yeah, for sure. You can follow us at Very Dad Ideas at Facebook, at Tube, or YouTube, that is, Twitter and Periscope, and at Twitch. Please feel free to join in when we go live on Tuesday nights at 9:30, and you can chat with us. You can also see the archive of every episode that we've done, official episode, at YouTube. At YouTube, you can just search for Very Dad Ideas. Also, all the podcasts are on Very Dad Ideas at budsprout.com. You can also visit us at verydadideas.com, where all of the episodes are there, all of the development stuff. The guy over there is Daron Jennings. You can find him at DaronJennings.net. I am at NyeWarburn.com, and our music is done by the very talented Jen Remington at HeyDog.com.
HeyDog.com.
Hey, do you like that? That was
I feel like, in the middle there, I felt like you were sort of like, settled in. You were like, this is a roller coaster of information. Just sit back, relax.
Okay, so before we go into recommendations, a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to just call a shout out that last week in our Evil Dad episode, I chose Mark Zuckerberg as one of the most evil dads, and then all that shit blew up on Facebook this week. I just want a little bit of credit for that.
I think that was actually that we would think that at the end of the day it would be Walter White.
Right. So I think I might just have a Zuckerberg no way icon up here because I earned that.
I think so. I think you earned the golden Zuck. I think if we were to go back and switch it out, that would be because that happened, and you were right on the money.
Right. So Darren, what do you said you had something prepared, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not much, but my recommendation is that I was reading in my feed, and National Geographic just published an article about how the human body, they've detected another organ in the human body.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
can we search this? Can we try to
Yeah,
look?
yeah. If you were to Google the interstitium,
All right,
that's
let's try that.
INTERSTITIUM.
INT. Say again. ER.
INTER.
Uh-huh. Oh, there it is. The
Yeah,
interstitium.
the interstitium. Yeah, the interstitium is sort of a lymph fuel for the lymph node system, and it's also like a shock absorber that sits in between your skin and sort of wraps into like your ligaments and your musculature, and it's just sort of
This is
body sheath.
This is fascinating. This is a great recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
but I was just blown away by it, just like, because the scientists, they just like, the reason we didn't know about it because the way they were looking at dead tissue, and this stuff, it's like honeycomb and sort of like a fabric, and it just sort of pancakes when there's no liquid in it, and so they just thought it was just more stuff.
Interesting.
And it just the more that people delve into the human body, the less they really do know about. They're just like constantly like, oh, we just thought that was dense fiber.
That's
I don't know,
great.
and I'm walking around in my life, and I'm just like,
So
oh yeah,
what
dense
is this?
fiber.
What does this thing look like? I mean,
Like there
obviously-
you go. There's a cross section of it. You got it up there in the top right or top left. Yeah, it looks like that. So you've got just got like all the good stuff sitting in there.
Meet your interstitium. Wow.
Yeah.
Gross. Well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Right below the mucosa.
Darren.
Enjoy.
Darren dropping science. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
that's the last time I will. I think that is the full extent. I mean, I delved once into science, and that's what I came up with, and I'm already grossed out. So.
Great. So my recommendation is the Very Bad Wizards. Because number one, they are a huge influence on this show. This is basically a podcast between a philosopher and a psychologist, and they are the model for this show, which was, instead of a philosopher and a psychologist, I thought a voice actor and an animator. But they talk a lot about like morality, and they talk about and it's basically two professors, one from Columbia and one from University of Houston. They've been doing this for years and years and years. This is the only podcast I've listened to every single episode for. Not only are they educational or interesting, they're hilarious and they're dirty, and they tell dick jokes, and they're always
that's great.
They're throwing each other under the bus. So they get all these amazing like academics. And these academics come on to talk about like these deep philosophical things, and they have these deep philosophical conversations, but they also just like throw them under the bus and shoot the shit, and it's just really great. So if you're into a good podcast and you're into philosophy, this is a great podcast to listen to. Subscribe. You will also hear a lot of influence on the development of this show because these guys were a big influence. So I thought they're definitely, my recommendation.
All right.
So there you go. That's our recommendation. And so the last thing we want to do for our show, Darren, you said you had one more thing you wanted to do.
Yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to. I hear tell that your folks are in town.
Yes, my folks are actually sitting right behind me right now, behind
They're
behind
back
the
behind
green
the
screen.
blue screen, or the purple mountains majesty, the digital purple mountains majesty.
And
there.
let's make sure that so our chat is working, so they should be able to respond. So Darren, you said
I just have a couple of questions, just like 3 questions, and they're very banal. They're very 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 tame. The first one was, just what do you like? So you have a 2-year-old and you have a 7-month-old. What do you?
Almost 7-month-old, right?
Do they see similarities in Griff and Toby that they saw when you in those sort of years, or is it just too long ago? And like, because this is really a question for myself, where it's just like, do you remember this stuff, or like as you get older, you just can't remember when they were a kid?
I mean, I know how to answer this question, but like if my parents are connected and they want to respond, they can.
Well, if they can type it in.
They might also. They're also on mobile phones. They might not have the thumb dexterity to be able to do it.
No, if they want to type it in, and sort of.
I'll field this by saying my mom is constantly saying, "Oh, you were like that. Oh, you weren't like that. Oh, you were like that." So I think there is plenty of evidence that shows that they were very similar. To me in a lot of ways. Yeah. So there you go. My mom just said absolutely.
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. And then what were Nye's first favorite foods? Like, if you remember a couple of them at all.
Oh, and also there's a huge delay, right? So we have to
wait. Oh,
yeah. So Nye's favorite foods. That's interesting. I wonder what I was as a kid.
What were Nye's favorite foods? And then sort of the opposite question is just what were there foods where you were just like, no way? Was it like broccoli and spinach, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I was a finicky.
Was it only chicken nuggets, or a lot of kids, right? Things.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely. And maybe the delay is so bad that we won't be able to field this very well. But I think I was a great kid. I was a perfect kid. And,
yeah. Well, see, you took the bait, now, because my next question has been this way: is this sort of what you were? I mean, this model. Was he always like this?
Yeah, was I always like this? Is the question. Quiet. And it could just be tech problems. I'm sure my dad will tell me everything that I've done wrong technically, but I was all about Mickey Mouse even at 1 year old. Cannot remember whether I was a Ficky. So it's funny because Griff is all about Mickey Mouse as well, and it could
really.
Yeah, I mean, he has a Mickey. He watches Mickey. And I also support his love of Mickey.
Right. I mean, like, he didn't just go like, "Oh, I want to listen to Mickey." He was just like,
yeah. Well, I mean, if it's like, okay,
Steamboat Willie, and let's start from there.
Yeah, you have Elmo over here, and you have Mickey over here. I'm going to steer him towards Mickey versus Elmo.
Bet.
Yeah. So, in fact, I'll kick one last story. When we were on the beach. We were walking around on the beach and with Griffin, and he was really into Pluto, the dog, and he was like, I like Pluto, the yellow dog. He is my favorite. And I said, really, Griffey? I thought Mickey Mouse was your favorite. And Griffey stopped and he went, sorry, Dada, you're right. Mickey is my favorite. And on that note,
oh my God.
And on that note, that is our show. We do this every Tuesday at 9:30. We will be back again next week at 9:30 with all kinds of exciting content. Please
right, we will.
Please come back and join us, and we will see you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will. Thanks for joining us again.
All right, take care.